I think it's entirely up to the guides of the Sabi Sand whether they name individual cheetah or not. It causes way too much confusion when we put names to things, and we are only temporarily here. It's the residents of the Sabi Sand. Marissa in Texas. Hello, Texas. How are you, Marissa? The survival rate of cheetah young, as opposed to other cats. Marissa, I'm afraid I have to, once again, this depends. I think there are different areas where cheetah success rate is higher. I can't give you a general answer, because what works in one area might not work in another, and some of the influencing factors on the survival rate of cheetah are most obviously lion, leopard and hyena populations within the same area, that interspecific competition that exists, as well as whether the habitat is sufficient, whether there is good enough habitat for the cheetah. I would say that the habitat type, the vegetation that occurs in an area, very much dictates the number of prey species that are in an area, and that always will indicate, or that will always have an influence on the population of the predators that occur there. And even then, predator populations vary accordingly, or according to different criteria. You see, you can't take every area in Africa and say that for every 10 square miles you've got one pride of lion, and you've got 10 leopards, and you've got 3 cheetah. It doesn't really work that way. Things vary, and even within an area, we can go through times here in the Sabi Sand where there is an era of relative ease of pressure on cheetah, that they're able to have higher success rates at raising their cubs, and then there can be times when maybe because of lion pressure and hyena pressure things change, and that might be at a time when cheetah populations are in a particular area, not saying in general, but in a particular area like the Sabi Sand, there can be times when maybe cheetah populations have reached a point, kind of like leopard populations up here right now, almost like saturation. There's nowhere for these leopards to go when they're getting mature, and so there's probably a higher mortality rate because of it. There's just so many factors that it's very hard to give you a singular answer to that kind of question. Let's go over to different angle again, slightly more to the front of him than we are. We'll go over to Scott.
Welcome back to myself and Romeo's vehicle, and I'm not sure what the angle was like from Mark's vehicle, but you can see his left paw, and on that left paw you'll notice that the back of the pad at the opposite end to the toes is very pronounced and angular, more so than lion and leopard. So that's sadly, well, it is the best angle we've got. at the moment. Now, what has he seen? Nothing that I can see at this stage, but something got his attention down there. Now, you may have heard Mark's vehicle start up, and he is heading off, and the reason why he is heading off is, unlike lion and leopard, we do not view cheetah after dark with the spotlights. So Mark's decided to head off and start looking for some other interesting animals for us to view, which is a great idea because we probably have about another 10 to 15 minutes worth of light that we'll be able to stay with him, maybe a little bit longer, and we will stay with him for as long as we can until it does get too dark to film without the use of spotlights. And the reason being is cheetah are diurnal cats. Their nighttime vision isn't nearly as good as that of lion and leopard, and just like we avoid shining on other daytime animals, mainly herbivores, but also wild dog, for example, we will practice the same procedure with cheetah.